I don't know. That's why we need theme music.
Do that again. That was
I just said, hoo, hoo, that's it. I didn't do anything
ooh,
special.
slap happy too. Let's see. And we are live. Hi, Dr. Tiff.
Hey, Jim.
How are you?
I am just awesome. I really am. I really am awesome.
Yeah. How's your
Yep,
week?
yep. Yeah, it's been work, but you know what they're saying when you're working in your purpose. It doesn't feel like work. You're just doing, you're just living. So I'm loving it.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I totally get that. Well, folks, welcome to our live stream. My name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I love saying I used to be a type 2 diabetic because I think just 5 years ago, that was kind of considered unattainable.
Yes.
And I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I went to TikTok. I reversed type 2 diabetes. I've completely reversed it. I have a 4.8% A1C, unmedicated 4.8. It's not like I'm taking medications to get down to 4.8. I just don't have it anymore. In fact, I don't know if I ever told you this or not, Dr. Tiff. My endocrinologist specifically used the word reverse with me. So I have
Oh, there we
reversed.
go.
I have reversed type 2. Am I freezing or are you freezing?
Uh-oh. Then it might be me because you're not freezing.
I think you're freezing up a little bit, but I don't know if that's on my end.
Listen.
So I have completely reversed type 2 diabetes, and I went to TikTok and started talking about the Unicity Field Grade System because, truthfully, I owe it all to that. That's my testimonial. That's not science. That's not doctors. That's nothing more than me saying, I don't think I could have done it without that. And so I went to TikTok and started talking about it. And oh boy, I think I've helped no fewer than 100 people now reverse type 2 diabetes. And that's a pretty bold statement. And along the way, I've met some pretty dang cool people. And of course, we have all of these skeptics in the world because why not be a skeptic? We deserve to be skeptics. But along the way, I've met some pretty amazing doctors. Dr. Tiffany, will you tell people who you are?
I will. The fact that you said I'm freezing, I'm going to have to step out and come back in when we go further along. Okay. So
You're good,
I
though.
am a family practice doctor who really got tired of writing prescriptions. I literally just got tired of writing them. And so after doing private practice, then urgent care, then telemedicine, even when I took care of 48 states across our country, it was just way too many people needing prescriptions and not getting better and not looking good, still looking like crap. I don't know too many people on a whole bunch of meds that actually look good. Do you? No. So I decided I want to do something else. And I got into lifestyle medicine, which is about going after the root causes of conditions. And then I figured everybody else can't know this because this seemed like brand new information to me. So I'm going to get on social media and start talking about these things, managing our stress, our sleep. And that's when I got connected with a mutual friend who said, hey, look at these products that can help you do what you're talking about. And I was like, whatever, man, I don't need those things. But once I started actually helping people with those tips and those tools, and I used my coaching skills, I was able to see people get off of, those medications, just like you, reverse those A1Cs, help my brother get off his insulin, his Trulicity, his metformin, help my mom with her pre-diabetes. And shoot, I got to get off of my blood pressure medicine. So it became a win-win. And here I am talking to the Healthy Pitmaster.
Right. So you just touched on something, and every week it seems like you say something that kind of triggers something inside of me to dig a little bit deeper. But you just said I was a skeptic, and I just said that I was a skeptic, right? So, or if I didn't say it, I was a skeptic. I was a complete skeptic.
Yeah.
And so I started it January 4th, and February 16th, I got a call from my doctor saying I could quit taking my Trulicity. That was the GLP-1 that I was on. And I tell you what, if you want to not be a skeptic anymore, get a call like that. I actually still have the voicemail. Maybe one of these live streams I'll play it. I suppose I should ask her permission if I can play her voice, right? Use her likeness. But I still have the voicemail. I'll never delete that voicemail because it was a cool day. That was such a day, right? I never anticipated I would ever hear that. And I went from skeptic to believer just like that. And you kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
So, your brother. Tell us about your brother.
Well, if anybody else understands this, there's people on here. Our family are like the last ones to really pay attention. At least mine were. You know, even though I went to medical school, it was like, whatever, you're just my sister. So, you know, when he wasn't taking care of himself and his sugars were shooting through the roof, I mean, in the 500s, 600s, because he was one of those type 1.5s, you know, that strange thing they're saying. They easily go into diabetic ketoacidosis to where they can almost have a coma. And so, yeah, that was him. That was his crazy self. And I had to fly to DC to try to take care of him, be at his bedside as he had his insulin drip, as he had his Trulicity, as he had his metformin, as they gave him that diabetic diet food, which is a bunch of carbs. It was horrible. So I made a stink and talked to his endocrinologist and got him out the ICU. But I put him on these products, these natural products, and I was able to see his sugars just come right on down, just taper right on down to where I could taper him off his insulin, his Trulicity, his metformin. Now, I only did that because I'm a doctor. That's not what you're supposed to do. But I did that watching his sugars very closely.
And so, skeptic becomes a believer. You were already kind of becoming a believer, but seeing it firsthand in your family.
Oh, that did it.
A believer, right?
Oh, that did it for me. Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't care what nobody say. I see what it does to the sugars. Y'all can say whatever.
So I see in here, Blenda on YouTube says, you both are amazing folks. Thank you for being you, and let's help others learn to be healthy. Blenda, thank you for being you. And what isn't being said is Blenda is helping people herself. She's now helped her granddaughter reverse polycystic ovary syndrome. We did a live stream with Blenda. Time flies. Probably 6 months ago, Dr. Tim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you want an amazing story, go watch that live stream with her. But Blenda has reversed type 2 diabetes. She's lost, I think, 120 pounds.
Yes.
She no longer has sleep apnea. It's just amazing. So here's how this works. Dr. Tiffany are going to talk about the Unicity Field Grade system. But I understand that everybody is a skeptic, right? And so Dr. Tiffany is here to walk you through what is the matter with us. And we're going to get into this. And she's going to explain to you why we are all sick. What are we sick for? And then we have testimonials. We've got some really, really amazing testimonials. And I can't wait for you to hear these testimonials. And then I'm going to come through and kind of wrap it up with the science and how to use it. And then there's going to be an open questions and answers kind of portion of this live stream. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them at the end of the live stream. Now, you probably also notice a lot of people are being tagged into this. They're being invited to watch this live stream. If you are one of the people that's been invited, that means that somebody thinks that this system could benefit you. And it's simple. Just listen to Dr. Tiffany, listen to the testimonials. If you feel like it, listen to me. And if you decide you want to order the product, get back with the person who invited you, and they will tell you how to order the system. It is so simple. It is so simple. Now, if you are on the system, here's the catch. If you're on the system and you're just here listening to us because it's motivational and you want to help somebody else, tag somebody. The way that you'll tag somebody is hit the little @ symbol on Facebook. Hit the little @ symbol and start typing their name. And as their name starts to populate, you can hit enter. They will be tagged in here, like all of these names that you're seeing being tagged in here right now. And the next time they log into Facebook, they'll get the notification. Mm-hmm. This is also on YouTube. This is also on Twitter. This is also on Instagram. This is across kind of all the major social media platforms for the Healthy Pitmaster. So if you want to just share those out, feel welcome to share those out. But it's also on Dr. Tiffany's socials. Doctor, where can we find you?
It's on YouTube and on my Facebook page. And so that's the reason why, because I've had some people be like, I don't see anybody in the viewers. That's because we're everywhere. We got people everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's something you should probably share too, is when we come on our next show, how many viewers we have for that last one. Because I don't think people understand how we're reaching so many people.
Yeah. And so it occurred to me, I would hear people say, you know what, I want to share this with somebody, but they're not on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we're just doing a live stream to Facebook. And that seems like, well, there's a huge portion of the population that could benefit from it. And so, okay, well, let's do Twitter. Well, not everybody's on Twitter. And then, okay, well, what about TikTok? Well, not everybody's on TikTok. What about YouTube? Everybody can get YouTube. That's the cool thing about it. You don't have to be you don't have to be a member of YouTube. You can just go watch YouTube. So everybody kind of has access to this. So we are across all of the major social media platforms. If you can think of it, we are there. So you can look for the Healthy Pitmaster, and then Dr. Tiff just gave you her socials. Share this out. Share it out, and let's make a positive change in the world. So, Dr. Tiffany, I want to jump right in here with Ken And Ken's got a pretty amazing story. I'm excited to introduce Ken. And so what we'll do is we'll bring in Ken and let him tell his story here a little bit, testimonial. Listen, now this is a really cool one. And then when we're done with Ken, we're going to move on to Dr. Tiff, and she will explain why we are all sick.
Yep.
Mr. Ken.
Hello there.
How are you, brother?
Hello.
I'm good. Whew. Man, it's a busy day.
Yes, it is. But hey, brother.
Man.
You've had an amazing story. And, I met you the end of last year, and then we've really kind of gotten to know each other over the last couple of months. But I thought it would be kind of cool if you just kind of told your story here. Tell people where you were to begin with, where you are today, and fill in all the gaps. A lot of people were listening. Mike is yours, brother.
Sure. Well, I appreciate that. So for me, this journey really began, I pieced together. I mean, there's a big part of it from my journey. It actually goes back to 1980 when I realized that it began for me. 1980 was the year Empire Strikes Back came out. You can tell I'm a Star Wars fan. But 1980 was the year I was diagnosed with child's rheumatoid arthritis at 9 years old. We didn't realize what we know now, but it had to do with inflammation. I never understood that. I do now. But as a kid, it was just my knees were swollen. I couldn't run. I couldn't play. I couldn't be and do what other kids were doing. And so I suffered in part trying to do everything I could as a kid to try to be normal and do what I could. And things got better. But then in 2000, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. I was first started dealing with depression, anxiety, migraines started, hypertension. And I just kept on this journey of just dealing with medication. And it literally was medication on top of medication. And, and I didn't think anything of it. It was like, oh, I'm just having to take this. I guess I'm getting older. And, for me, it was simply a matter of, okay, yeah, my parents get more medications. I get more medications. It's just what we do. Kind of move along a little bit to, I guess it was about 2014. Where I started having problems in my eye. One of my eyes, I woke up one morning. I remember it distinctly. I was going to teach a Bible study. I've been a clergy for 30 years. I was going to teach a Bible study. And after that, I was going turkey hunting. And it was my right eye. So I was going, wait a second. And I'm sorry if anybody's a hunter and here or not a hunter and you're against that. I'm sorry. I'm a redneck from down south. You're just going to have to deal with it. So I was in camouflage going to teach Bible study and realizing, you know what, I needed to go see a doctor. And I called my ophthalmologist and went in. It's bad when the doctor looks in your eyes. And the first time I've ever heard a doctor cuss in an appointment. And the first thing he did was he was on the phone. Do what? Did you say something?
No, I was listening. I feel like I heard
okay. Yeah, I heard something there, but yeah. So he cussed, and the first thing he did was he set me an appointment with a neuro-ophthalmologist in Atlanta. I got in the car, and he said, "Clear your schedule. You're not going anywhere." I went to see the neuro-ophthalmologist. He said, "You're not going anywhere. You're going to go over and get an MRI done right now." And so I knew it was crazy at that point. I had ischemic optic neuropathy. My eyes were stroking. It is a very rare condition. But my eyes stroked. I had strokes then ultimately in both of my eyes. It's cost me almost half my vision. So I didn't know that. Again, the lead up to that is hypertension, which is what I suffered with, high triglycerides. All of that contributes to stroke, just like it does in the rest of the body. It just has to be the very smallest veins in the body. 2 years after that, my late wife, Heather, was diagnosed with colon cancer. And so I was her caregiver and for 18 months, and she took her last breath July 12th of 2016. I became an only parent of 2 young adult kids. For me, that meant I had to be the hero of my story. Whatever mattered from that point on was I have to live. And all I was doing was I felt like I was on more and more medication. Lauren and I met, the wonderful Dr. G, as some of y'all know her, and she was on here a while ago. But we met and we got married. We fell in love and got married, and I moved to Alaska. And in that period of time, last year, we both were diagnosed with diabetes. We didn't tell each other. I know it's bad. I'm a marriage counselor. They're supposed to be transparent. But, we were both, I think, a little embarrassed because we knew that was not a good thing. And what we knew about diabetes is everything we knew, even for her as a doctor, as she shared in her story, everything we knew was this is what once you start, you're done. You just keep taking medication. You don't get off of it. And we were both like, there's got to be a better way. Well, she got introduced to the protocol from somebody that many of y'all are familiar with, a vet who's a nurse and diabetes educator. And because Lauren was calling to try to find a natural solution, because we're both cancer survivors and didn't want more medication. And so I watched Lauren start taking the protocol in January of last year. And I watched the immediate changes start in her body. And I tell about it on my TikToks. I said, she had fibromyalgia, so there was many days I couldn't even hold her hand without her pulling away. I couldn't touch her. And, for me, and I do marriage counseling, my love language is physical touch. So that was hard for me as a husband, that I couldn't even hold my wife's hand, that I'm proud to be with her. I want everybody to know this is who I'm with. And that was preventing that. And all of a sudden I could hold her hand. I didn't have to worry about that. And I saw this new woman start to live in my house. And I was like, okay, I got to know more about this. And so I was like, I just started doing research. I started taking lemon ginger when I had a man cold one day. And of course, men, you know how bad man colds are. They're terrible. They're awful. They lay you out. You're done, man. You might as well,
Hey, come on, guy. What's going on, little bug?
That's okay.
I'll quit, man. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Okay, whatever. Let's get your wife on the phone and see what she says. So she gave me this hot lemon ginger tea the end of April, and she said, drink it. And within an hour, it wasn't cured, but I was like, holy crap, I have energy I didn't know I had. So May 1, I started on the protocol. I went and became a nutrition coach, I went and did other extra classes because I really wanted to understand nutrition. I have a master's degree, so research is something I love to do. So I jumped in on that. I started the protocol. I reversed my diabetes. I reversed insulin resistance. I was a 6.9 on the scale. I'm now 1.7. My blood pressure reversed. I lost 45 pounds the first 4 months, learning how to intermittent fast, learning how to coach intermittent fasting. I maintain a weight now of 150 with intermittent fasting. Using the protocol, I have more energy than I know what to do with. I'm off of my anxiety and depression medications. I'm off of almost every bit of my medication. The last thing I'm on is omeprazole. I used to take 60 milligrams a day, and I think Dr. Tiff will tell you that's more than what I should be taking. But in order to control my acid reflux and leaky gut, I needed that extra 15 milligrams. Now I might take 15 milligrams in the course of a month. And I understand right out of the gate what balance was doing, because that's been feeding my gut microbiome. The calcium carbonate in there has been healing my gut. Every day I feel a little bit better. It's going to take a while because I did a lot of damage to my gut with the medications that I was on. But all that's healing. The best part about it is I don't take Excedrin anymore. If you want to talk about something that will cause anxiety, is getting up in the day knowing that you might have a migraine and it will ruin the rest of your day. And I hated that. Everything is bidirectional. That's one thing I've learned. When one thing is off, everything is off, and your body just spirals out of control. I feel more like 23 than 50, more 23 than 53. If I was a youth pastor, again, I have no problem thinking I could, and I probably is stupid for doing it, but I'll go play tackle football right now. I'd put those kids in the ground as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sure that I'm bulletproof, but I sure would give it a shot. I am loving this. It has changed our lives. It has improved. I will say, and I think Dr. G will agree, being on this journey together has been an incredible experience. Our coaching, we call it Healthy Together for a reason. People shouldn't do this alone. I love being on this team and being part of this family because we are family and we do this together. And I love that camaraderie. I think that is so huge because the journey is lonely when you do it by yourself. It is hard. Doing it together has brought us together. And I know that's a really weird side effect that we don't ever talk about, but I think as families do it together, it does bring a family together. So I guess that knocks out my testimony.
I have just observed, and it's just observational, that success stories are infinitely easier to find when people have a partner to do it with, right? When you've got somebody, what do they call it, an accountability partner, somebody that you can go through this with. So, and that kind of ties in. If you have been tagged in this live stream, somebody's maybe looking for an accountability partner.
Yeah.
Somebody might be looking for their accountability partner. Maybe somebody's excited about this, and maybe. And by the way, Kim, I just want you to know that you opened up Pandora's box. Did you see all of these women in our comments? I'm not going to put all their comments up because you opened up Pandora's
box. I haven't seen the comments.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm not surprised you didn't put it up because all them said,
Where's man cold brother? You just inadvertently spoke for all of us. Guys, I don't agree with that. I feel like I'm tough as nails all the time.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what?
You're full of crap too, man.
I love it. I love it because what you do see also is you see Dr. G over there, boosting up her honey. That is so cute. She's like, yes, he's the best ever. The only thing she said was don't do football. She said don't. But she had your back boosting it.
I heard you say that you feel more 23 than you do 53. And I mean, I got to point out that I am the youngest person in this panel here by a lot, but I feel like my early 20s. I don't know that I'm ready to go out and put the pads back on and play football, but I do feel amazing, absolutely amazing. I get what you're saying. All teasing aside, well, I'm not teasing that I am the youngest person in this panel. All teasing aside, I feel amazing. I get it. I totally get it. The joints don't hurt like they did. It feels amazing. Okay, Ken, brother, Dr. Tiff, do you have any questions for Ken, or are we going to let you do your thing?
Yeah. We'll just let me do my thing. Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Ken. I enjoy it. I enjoy you and your wife. You guys are awesome.
So, Ken, will you stick around? I want to shut the camera off, but will you stick around until after the live stream? I want to bring you back afterwards so that if anybody has any questions for you, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of women asking you questions here.
Well, keep in mind, I was just saying, remember, I've got a live stream starting at the top of the hour on men's health as well.
I got you.
So,
all right, brother. Well, I'll
be here.
Cool. All right, Dr. Tiffany.
Yes.
Let's switch spots with you there. So, talk to me. How does this? It seems week in, week out. Like we've got testimonials. We had Troy Hatch with his kidneys a while back. We had Chelsea with polycystic ovary syndrome. We've got diabetes. We've got so many people and we had Michelle with weight loss a while back. How is everybody benefiting from this? What is going on? That seems too good to be true.
Yes, that is the question. Oh my gosh. This has not happened to me. I gotta get out of this. What happened? I fixed it. I had it there and then it disappeared. It's just that type of day. Okay, there it is. I don't know what's going on today. Y'all gotta pray for me. Send a prayer for me.
You gotta pray for me.
Okay.
Oh, and
you know what it is? It's that 5 days older business you keep saying.
What are you talking about, doctor? I mean, I just spit facts.
It's not working. Nothing. Okay. Woo, I don't know what it is. It's the 5 you keep saying that. Okay.
Substantial. Hey guys, hold on here. Your screen is still there, Tiff. I'll bring it back. Guys, in case you don't know, Dr. Tiffany and I think we have a wonderful relationship. I love her to death, and I feel like she loves me. You love me, right? And she celebrated her birthday on the 12th of this month, and then I celebrated mine on the 17th of this month. We were born in the same year. So I'm just teasing her a little bit that she's substantially older than me by 5 days. But really, I think we can all agree that she has aged considerably better than I have. There you go, Tiff.
Yeah.
Considerably better than me.
Okay.
And also, I'm going to turn my camera off because there's one of your pictures in your slides show. I always block it, and I don't want to be. So I'm going to turn my camera off while you do the presentation. But I'm sitting here listening.
Okay, that sounds good. And I am so sorry. I don't know what's going on today. I think somebody just doesn't want us to do this today. Doesn't want me to do it. So I'm doing my best. I hope it's not freezing too badly. Okay, so the problem is cardiometabolic health. 93% of Americans are struggling with this. And that means only 7% of Americans are actually not. And, with the fact that statins came out as a way to decrease that cardiovascular risk, heart attacks, and it only decreases that risk by 1%, something else had to be helpful, right? So lifestyle medicine looks at changing your lifestyle. And what they found is that if you actually change your lifestyle, make the lifestyle changes, that decreases your risk by 39%. And so why does this matter? One of the main diseases, diabetes. Now, there's so many more that we're going to go into, but diabetes is a huge part of that metabolic syndrome, metabolic health problems, right? 30.3 million people in the U.S. are struggling with diabetes. And that's 1 out of 10 people, but 1 out of every 4 don't even know they have it. And then pre-diabetes, that's before diabetes, 84.1 million people are struggling. 1 out of 3 adults. And then 9 out of 10 don't know they have it. And then, of course, because I keep saying this because this is a problem, that heart disease is still the number 1 killer. And it was the number 1 killer 30 years ago. 30 years ago. And so if you're like me, you're like, why? Why are we still getting killed by the same thing? Why are we still dealing with the same problem? That means what we've been teaching is not correct. It's not up to par. And so why is that? Well, when I actually went to private practice, I was trying to do my best. But of course, over time, I ended up writing prescriptions, then prescriptions for the side effects, then prescriptions for the drug interactions. And you know what? I had people looking just like this lady on the top left. And so when I decided, okay, I'm going to do lifestyle medicine, go after root cause, that way I can start helping people with their lifestyle, I started realizing that, look, our genetics are not the end all be all. How we actually have and have a better life depends on how we till that land we are given. It is really up to us. We are not bound by genetics. And the reason why this is important, because over half of the world is struggling with insulin resistance, over half. And then if you look at this, you see the diabetes, you see the heart disease, you see the cancer, you see the fatty liver. And so I love to pick up the symptoms because this all gets everybody in my lives. The whole skin tag thing, they're like, that doesn't mean you have diabetes. No, there's actually studies that were done in 2011, 2012, talking about if you have more than 5 or 6 skin tags, you have insulin resistance. Yeah, I didn't know that. And I'm a medical doctor, a primary care doctor at that. So if you're having symptoms of cravings for sugar, salty, constantly hungry, the skin tags, like I said, and the pigmentation, that dark patch on the neck, that's not dirt. That's overgrowth of skin. Both of those are issues of overgrowth of skin because insulin will act like a growth hormone when it's too much of it. You can have irregular menstrual cycles, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is the number 1 cause of infertility for women, erectile dysfunction, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, that abdominal obesity, that visceral fat, and then that fatigue, that itis. Like after a heavy carb meal, that I got to go take a nap business. Yeah, that's because of insulin resistance. And so when we think of insulin, lots of us think of the exogenous insulin, the insulin that our diabetic family members give themselves because their sugar's too high. No, insulin is actually a hormone that is already in our body. And so it has a lot of jobs. We're going to talk about how it delivers energy into the cells. It stores excess glucose as fat and regulates blood sugar levels. So insulin resistance is a condition when those cells stop really listening to insulin. And what causes that? Well, when insulin gets too high in the bloodstream and bathes the cells, and then they become resistant. And then what may become too high in the bloodstream, that's what we put in our bodies, what we eat and drink. So from this global nutrient database, what we see is that across the world, what's that about? That's 3/4 of what people are eating are carbohydrates. And why does that matter? Because carbohydrates break down into the largest amount of glucose. And it's that glucose that tells your pancreas to release insulin. Because insulin's job is to get that glucose into the cells. So when you have something that releases a lot of glucose, you're going to release a lot of insulin. Protein, you're going to release some insulin, not nearly as much as you do with carbohydrates, and fat is pretty negligible. So here's a nice little visual on how this happens in your body, how you can develop high insulin levels, okay? So you've been sleeping all night, and like most people, you aren't eating while you're sleeping. So by the time you wake up, your insulin levels are low, okay? And then you have your carbohydrate breakfast, because that's usually what we do: cereal, oatmeal, toast, French toast, pancakes, right? That would be high in carbohydrates. That would make your pancreas have to release all this insulin. And like usual, when there's a problem, your body may overshoot some. So then you release too much insulin. And so it doesn't really get a chance to come all the way down by the time you have your mid-morning snack. Okay. And then you maybe pick up a Nutri-Grain bar or a bag of chips or something, right? That boosts your insulin level again because it boosted your glucose level. Then you have your lunch, your pizza, your wrap, because you're trying to be healthy. And then your wrap, you're trying to be healthy with the wrap or your Subway sandwich. But anyhow, that has a good amount of carbohydrates in it, and it boosts your insulin level, makes your pancreas have to release it. Your snack, if it's carbohydrate rich, you're going to do another one. And the reason why I'm saying these are carbohydrates is because, part of that food pyramid was to eat 6 to 11 servings of carbohydrates a day. That was back in 1992. It's 1990s. And we were also told to eat every couple of hours. And so, yeah, that keeps kicking up these carbohydrate spikes, then the insulin spike. And you know what? It never really comes back down. That's how you get flooded with insulin. And the sad thing is our carbohydrates have been stripped of what we need, the fiber. That actually protects us from those glucose spikes, so we don't have to release as much insulin from the pancreas. But also it helps to keep the digestive system running smoothly, weight management, and blood sugar control. And I like to say, it's not entirely your fault. Not entirely, because these processed foods, these bagged, boxed, barcoded, they've been made to be addictive. They have the colors in there. They have the excess sugar, and they tap into those dopamine receptors, giving you this great feeling, this reward feeling that you want these things again. And that's how they get us. So what can you do? 5 things you can do immediately. This is what I like to say. So 1, try to do more of a lower carbohydrate, or better yet, prioritize protein and fiber. That's what I would say. Prioritize protein and fiber. Because what happens is once you eat your protein and your fiber, you don't want to eat the carbs. So I get to win. I get my low carb without you worrying about it. Because if you tell somebody low carb, they immediately want to eat some carbs. And then avoid the processed carbs, because nobody needs to eat those. Nobody does. Now, I do understand, and I just did a post about this. The reality is people do have carb and sugar addictions. So it's easier said than done. So that's why the tools we like help this a great deal. And then there's exercise, resistance training. Building that muscle is great. It brings in the glucose into the cell, so it's not flooding the bloodstream. And then the fiber. Fiber was our gift from, our creator, to be able to help us not have these crazy glucose insulin spikes. The problem is our fiber just isn't fibering anymore. It's just, and then fasting or time-based eating, whichever one works for your schedule, right? That's when you're actually giving your gut a break. If you actually give your gut and your body a break, it can heal. There is so much healing that happens during fasting. I have to talk about the 16 hours fasting where autophagy kicks in. That's cellular cleanup. That's removing damaged cells and improving repair processes. That's huge. That's huge. And then when you get your ketones going, ketones are reparative. And you get the clarity. I was thinking about this the other day. I wake up and I'm the most clear when I first wake up in the morning because I've been fasting all night. So what if there was something that made doing those 5 things easier? And it is. We were already given this hormone. That's GLP-1. We already had it. The problem is dealing with our stress, dealing with our sleep, not managing those things correctly, not eating the right foods. We kind of shut down that hormone. And so now we need something to help boost it, because that hormone helps reduce cravings, help balance blood sugar, and improves digestion. And so people who are having difficulty with overeating, difficulty managing their weight and energy crashes, boosting their GLP-1 would be very smart to do. And so Big Pharma said, of course it is. Let's make something to do it. And so originally, these medications were for diabetes, but when they saw that it actually helped with weight loss because it was shutting off those carb cravings, that food noise, but it was doing it at such an astronomical level with a crazy amount of side effects, like thyroid cancer, gut paralysis, gut perforation. I even seen blindness. That's a lot of baggage just to shut off the food noise. And then after 2 years, what they're finding out is that those cravings, what it's supposed to do, it stops doing. On top of that, you lose the muscle in the bone, and everybody over 20 needs their bone And then if you're losing your muscle, when you gain the weight back, you're going to gain more weight back. So, of course, you need a natural solution. You need a natural way to boost this GLP-1. And by having the chlorogenic acid, the ferulic acid, the theobromine, the saponins, which are all a part of the products that Jim is going to go into, and the short-chain fatty acids, the soluble fiber, I mean, that is what does this. That's what gets us back to being healed and not being that part of that 93% struggling. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you. Guys, I'm going to ask the audience for this. So Dr. Tiffany, she's not compensated for this. This is just Dr. Tiffany coming in and sharing. I mean, how many years were you in school, Doc? 8 years of school.
I mean, at least what?
I mean, by the time you get done with your residency and all that stuff?
Yeah. I'd say about 12. Isn't that about 12?
12.
Okay.
And then
Whatever.
20 years of practice, right? 20 years of practice? That is like giving us the knowledge. That's giving us the knowledge. So thank you, Dr. Tiff. And if anybody wants to say thank, because she's doing this, she's not being compensated. So thank you. Love the way you break this down. And in fact, I saw Blenda over on YouTube said exactly that. Thank you for Dr. Tiffany for your explanation. So yeah, you're getting a lot of love now. Okay, so Dr. Tiffany, well, let me. If you've been invited into this live stream, real quick, if you've been invited into this live stream and you've listened to me ramble and you heard Kim tell an amazing testimony, you just heard Dr. Tiffany explain why we're sick. We're getting ready to go into another testimonial that I'm sure is going to be amazing. I don't know this person. I'm as new to the next testimonial as everybody else. If this is something you're interested in, just get back with the person who invited you to this live stream. That's all you have to do. Get with them and they will tell you how to order the system, okay? If you're excited about this, then tag somebody. Hit the @ symbol, type their name, hit enter, and they will be here. Dr. Tiffany?
Joseph. Yes. Oh, look at Josephine. Oh my gosh. I love this lady. Okay. Let me just love how everybody I bring on here, my people come with all the energy. We bring the energy.
Smile already. She's got a smile that's infectious.
But Josephine is a nurse, but she's a firecracker, already on fire about what's been happening. She's been watching, she's been paying attention, and I just can't wait to hear you tell us where everything started, what it's done for you, and the people you've been already able to help.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Tiffany. Thank you, Jim. Lovely meeting you here on the screen. I've been following you on Facebook for a little bit. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
As you can tell, I'm in the car and it's kind of dark, but I'm like, I just love what we do, and I'm going to be here in the dark sharing because you can hear my voice. That's for sure.
Josephine,
so
real quick, where is the accent from?
I am from East Africa, beautiful, magnificent country, the best country in the whole world, Kenya.
Yes, I want to explore. I've got a lot of good friends in that area of the world. I was picking up on this, and I want to kind of explore this a little bit.
Don't worry, Jim, you're coming there. So you're gonna come to motherland. You're gonna experience the hospitality firsthand, okay?
I have been invited to Uganda, which is Kenya's next door neighbor, and I cannot wait to go. There's a strong chance I'm going this year, and so I'm excited. But what I started to go with that was I don't think people, here in the United States, we associate, and maybe Dr. Tiffany, maybe you can explore a little bit of this after she's done. And I don't mean to cut off your testimonial. I just heard the accent and maybe go down a path of falsehoods, right? What we see in the United States as being fact. We associate obesity and type 2 diabetes. Obesity causes type 2 diabetes, right? And type 2 diabetes is worse in Uganda, in Kenya, in South Africa, in all of Africa than it is here in the United States. Yet, if we were just stereotyping a population, we would never stereotype that population as being obese. And I think that's a very powerful thing there. And so, Dr. Tiffany, I was wondering, maybe explain after she's done. Thin people get type 2 diabetes. Does that make sense? I'll be quiet here. Josephine, I'm sorry. I heard your accent. I
Yeah,
love the accent.
no
It made me
problem.
think.
But I can chime in a little bit about that later as well. But as much as I grew up on the farm and everything, people have adopted Western lifestyle, even the way they're living their lives, which is very disheartening. And the more the reason why I'm here, the more the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, so that I can be able to bring more education to my people. So, Jim, my name's Josephine. On social media, I go by Kemunto Achira. I've been a nurse for 29 years. I'm a mother of 4 and a wife, and I'm doing this not just for me, for my children, and I'm doing it for my community as well. So my story goes back 7 years ago. I thought I've been pretty healthy for the last 7 years, and I've been on this mission of health after there was such a scare in the health of one of my children. So my wellness journey was fueled through pain crisis in my life. So the pain became my purpose and became my passion. And that's why I'm here today. So for the last 7 years, I've really been pretty doing very well, healthy. And I thought I was that healthy until I was diagnosed with the pre-diabetes. I'm that 9 out of 10 that don't know that you have it. I'm healthy. I'm the most fit among my friends, and you eat healthy. We can't even take you anywhere. I'm like, no, I can eat some pizza. But listen, my A1C was 5.7, 5.8. It wasn't budging with exercise, with eating plant food. So I said, doctor, you got to do something about this. I had no idea what insulin resistance is. I always thought when you hear it, it's about diabetes. And I'm not that because I eat healthy, I feel good. I don't think I belong to that group of people, right? Probably a few people listening to us, they feel the same way I felt. But I will urge you to look further and see what does your blood work show about that. So anyway, when I was told I'm insulin resistant, one of my kids, his hemoglobin A1C was 5.9. He was very worried, being told he's pre-diabetic at age 22. And as a nurse, as a mother, I did not want my child to be called diabetic. I didn't want to be called diabetic. So I started researching this insulin resistance. And that's how me and Dr. Tiffany connected. So you said, show some love, some gratitude for Dr. Tiffany. I am forever grateful. And she knows it, and I will tell her until I have no more breath. I followed her on social media. I did not know her. I just saw a woman passionate. Then I see this other guy with a cap on. I'm like, they keep talking every Wednesday, but I was talking you all. And then I reached out to Beverly Granson because I know her personally. I'm like, who is this doctor lady? Do you know her well? What is she talking about? She's like, girl, I've been taking that stuff for 1 year. I was so mad at her. I was like, why didn't you tell me about this? But anywho, I'm so grateful that I started using the protocol. Jim, I thought I was pretty healthy, eating very well, but 7 days after using the protocol, I knew better to measure myself, because the only thing I changed, I'm like, I'm going to measure myself, weigh myself so I can see what's going to happen before I start giving it to my family and before I start opening my mouth, because I'm not a gatekeeper. When I know something good, the world is going to know about it. So I measured myself 7 days, Jim. I lost 4 inches on my mid abdomen. And as a nurse, I know this love handle is hosting that pre-diabetes. I'm like, okay, this is up to something, right? And then 2 weeks later, 7 pounds down. I haven't measured myself. I just know that pants I've not worn for 2 years, they are fitting me very loosely. So a lot of good stuff is happening. And guess what? At the end of the month, I'm going to get my blood work done. So I can't wait to come and share. Dr. Tiffany, you will call me back so I can tell them my story again by sharing what my A1C looks like at that point, okay? But I can tell you this. After I used the protocol for a month of December, I was like, this is a good thing. I had my son start using it. It probably did about 2 weeks or so, but he had started exercising as well, lifestyle modification, right? So when we went for his blood work, he had only been on the protocol for 3 weeks. Of course, he had already started exercising and doing other things and eating pretty healthy. So it was a combination of things, right? So I don't know if I can say that the protocol did it, but I know the combination. His A1C that was 5.9 is 5.2. I am so grateful. And it's continuing to take that. So I can't wait to tell you the rest of my story, what it's going to be like. But what I can tell you is this. I have a few friends, and I'm going to share, with their permission, share their stories without saying their names. Young lady, she has 2 young kids. She's had migraines since her teenager years when she's having a menstrual cycle. After 2 weeks, she said, Josephine, something has happened. I did not get migraines. I had energy. It gave me tears in my eyes talking to her. And you know what she said? She said, this protocol has given me a gift of 5 extra days that I never had for so many years. So when you hear that, what do? Do you keep that to yourself? It fuels me to tell the next person. When I get a call from a friend who has tried Ozempic for 1 year and she started having vision issues, then she stopped. And she tells me my fasting blood sugars, it makes me emotional because these are people I love. My fasting blood sugars are starting to normalize. What do you do with that information? You want to tell the next person. So Dr. Tiffany, Jim, I truly appreciate you all. I appreciate everyone that said yes before I did, because I would not have known about this. So I'm not gatekeeping anything. I am telling everyone, whoever can listen, as long as I have breath in my lungs, I'm going to be talking because God gave me this mouth and I'm going to use it. He gave me the voice and I'm going to do it.
Yes.
That's it for right now.
I'm speechless. Got to follow this up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Josephine, that was amazing. And I really am speechless. I want to tell people how we're going to use this system. I'm going to ask you to turn off your camera, though I really am fighting the need to turn off your camera. So I'm not going to turn your camera off. I don't want to turn your camera off. In fact, I'm going to turn Ken's back on. And we're just going to kind of roll into this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what these products are. And you know what I'll do? I'll go back to this screen, but I'm going to put myself on the bigger one for now. And then I'm going to share all the screen with us. Okay. So here is the deal. How does this system work? And I'm not going to dig into the science much because we are pressed for time, and I want there to be a good time for Q&A. I'm like rattled right now.
Right.
Okay, so how does this work? What was going through my mind also was that Josephine mentioned that she's from Kenya. And interestingly enough, Field Rate System is available in Kenya. And if you were in Kenya, you would get a packet of BioSlife, Unicity BioSlife, if you were in Kenya. It's been in Kenya for some time now. It's in South Africa. It's in Dubai. It's in Saudi Arabia. It's in Japan and South Korea and Vietnam. And it's all throughout the world. It's available in 63 different countries. Okay. In the United States, we call it Balance. Same thing. Same exact thing. Depending on where you're at in the world, it's either Balance or BioSlife. But you can see the packaging is literally identical, right? So in the United States, it comes in a Balance packet like this. And then we've also got Unimate. And right now, there are 3 different flavors of Unimate. There is lemon ginger, and apple spice. I'm actually drinking apple spice right now. It's a great afternoon drink. I'm drinking it hot. So with Balance, we've got orange flavor and we've got mixed berry. Kind of tastes like an Orange Julius, kind of tastes like a Jolly Rancher. Okay, how does this thing work? How do we use this? How does the protocol work? Well, we heard Dr. Tiffany talking about intermittent fasting, 16 and 8 time-based eating schedule. So what does this look like? For me personally, at 8 p.m., I'm done eating for the day. I don't eat again after 8 p.m. If I'm going to the pantry, if I'm going to the refrigerator after 8, it's not because I'm hungry. It's because I have a bad habit. And understand that. And so from 8 p.m. until noon the following day is 16 hours. I don't eat during that time frame. That's 16 hours of fasting. Now from noon until 8, I allow myself 2 meals. Just 2. No snacks in between. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I don't think I can make it through. What you did not hear me say was portion size. I don't talk about portion size. What I want you to do is eat a big enough meal that's filling enough that you're not going to want another meal until dinner. Okay? And focus on nutrition, good foods. Now, when you wake up and you're fasting, take a Unimate. The tea. You're going to get a little diamond bottle. Dr. Tiffany or Ken or Josephine, do you guys have the bottle handy? When you order, you're going to get a bottle. Just look at that. You're going to get a bottle just like that. That bottle has a line on it that says Unimate. Fill it up with cold water. If you're going to use the bottle, fill it up with cold water to that line and add this packet. Now, here's the deal. You don't have to use that bottle for the tea. I use my Yeti. I've got one of these little Yeti tumbler mugs. It's about 30 ounces. I filled this up with my tea and hot water, and I will sip on this hot. That's what I'm doing literally right now. And it's the first thing I do in the morning. I wake up in the morning, 7 a.m., I go and do that. Unimate has some amazing benefits, and we'll talk about those when I have a little bit more time. But one of the things that it does is it increases your satiety. It makes you feel kind of full. It gets rid of the food noise. And it helps you extend your fast. You're not sitting there, Dr. Tiff, Ken, Josephine, how many times when you tried fasting without this, did you find yourself staring at the clock, waiting for the fasting window? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make it, right? You don't do that with Unimate. You just don't do that. It takes that noise away. Sip on it. Whether you're drinking it out of a little bottle or out of a big thing, sip on it. Don't chug it. Sip on it. Now, when it's gone, it's a simple process. Drink a second one. You're going to get 2 of them. Drink a second one. The food noise will be gone. You're going to have an amazing boost of energy. It increases your GLP-1 by up to 70% during a fasted state. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but if you'd like, on my YouTube, I've got a video of Dr. Ben Bickman saying exactly those words. You can go listen to him say it. Don't take my word for it. Go pull the video on my YouTube. It's Dr. Ben Bickman, and he will say, Unicity's Unimate increases GLP-1 by up to 70%. Dr. Ben Bickman. Now, so we're going to drink 2 of those. And if you're not familiar with GLP-1, we heard Dr. Tiff talk about GLP-1 drugs earlier. Ozempic, Mounjaro, I was on Trulicity. They're everywhere right now. Well, this increases your body's own GLP-1 production. Dr. Ben Bickman. Now, immediately before your heaviest carbohydrate-laden meal, the meal that you're going to eat during the day that's got the most carbs in it. So if you're going to have, a bratwurst without a bun for lunch, that is not the meal I'm talking about. If you're going to have spaghetti at dinner, that is. Okay, so immediately before the heaviest meal of the day, you're going to take that bottle that they have right there, and it's got a little line on it that says balance. You're going to fill it up with cold water. You're going to add your packet and give it about 7 or 8 quick shakes. Don't shake it too much, it will get thick. Just give it about 7 or 8 quick shakes and chug it down the hatch as quickly as possible. Now, I said immediately before you eat. Immediately before. And then enjoy your meal. And that's the thing. A lot of people use the word food freedom. I kind of dig it. I get it. Enjoy your meal. Try and make better choices, but when you eat, enjoy your meal. What we're not doing, we're not dieting, we're not doing anything. We're going to enjoy our food. We're going to enjoy our lives. We're going to do this, and we're not going to do it with some major sacrifice. And we're not going to look at portion sizes. We're not going to go to the freezer section and look for the Weight Watchers thing that's this big, and you're going to have like 3 bites and be done. No. You're going to eat until you're okay? That is the system. It is that dang simple. So simple. So simple. Okay, so if it's something that you're interested in, I want to talk about pricing real quick. The tea. The tea costs about $2.25 a piece. Let me go with me on this. About $2.25 a piece. You get one of these, it lasts me about 3 hours. I think $2.25 is a pretty reasonable price. You drink 2 of them a day, so you're in for $4.50 a day. You do that for 30 days, you're in for $135. The entire system costs $159. That means your balance. Your fiber supplement costs about $24 for a month, about 80 cents a serving. So $159 per month. You'll get with the person who got you to this live stream. They will tell you how to order it. If you don't use their link, you're going to pay $200. Don't do that. Get with the person who invited you here. They'll give you a link. You'll order it directly from the manufacturer. There we go. Did I miss anything, guys? Did I miss anything? Oh, and by the way, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you try the products for 3 months, 90 days, and you're not satisfied for any reason, ask for a refund. They'll give you all your money back. Okay? What did I miss? Did I miss anything?
Yep.
No, you covered.
No.
You got it.
Okay. So I'm going to get to some questions. Let me see. I'm scrolling back to see if I've missed any. Oh man, Josephine, I don't know if you know your camera is off. And maybe it's off on purpose, but Josephine's camera is off.
Josephine, she was at a wellness event that she skipped out to do this.
I got it. Okay, so let's see. I couldn't fast before I found Field Grade System. Look at that. Let me put this angle up. Let's go back to this now.
That's Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda.
FTS protocol is so easy. I never thought I could. It's pretty simple, but there was a question down here. Glenda says she drinks balance before every meal. Okay, so what if you don't eat a lot of carbs? Mm-hmm. Can I take that one, Dr. Tiff?
Please do.
Remember, we're not just talking about glucose control. Balance was studied at the Cleveland Clinic and shown to improve cholesterol. So drink it before every meal. It will help with your cholesterol. Or drink it before the one meal a day, at least. Before the one meal. The heaviest meal, okay? So it was studied at the Cleveland Clinic and shown to reduce LDL cholesterol, reduce triglycerides, reduce total cholesterol. It was shown there. So drink it before your meal. How about that? Is that a good answer, Dr. Tiff? Or
yeah.
Kim? What other questions have you got? Did you want to add to that?
I think you did it.
Is this in Bangladesh? I am not sure. I'm not sure. If you'll send me a private message, and Vicky, I know that you're on the system. Send me a private message, and we'll look. I'll look for you.
She's on my team. I'll share it.
Yep. I didn't know if you know how to look for that, Dr. Tiff. I'll share the link with you too, where we can find out where it's at. I don't know if you know that or not, but maybe you do. Maybe I'm just preaching to the choir. But I'm officially, look at that. Michael Martin, I'm officially off. Ooh, where did Ken go? I'm officially off 8 blood pressure pills as of last week, almost 9 months, had high blood pressure for 34 years.
Wow.
Yes. Eating Greek yogurt will break your fast. Yep. Lori says that Josephine and Dr. Tiffany are awesome.
I think that was for all of us, Jim.
Oh, Ken had to go to his live. That's right.
Oh, that's right. Ken had to go to his live.
Ken had to go to his live. Okay. So I think it got kind of quiet on the questions. Is there anybody that has any questions? Feel free to ask those questions.
Jim, I have a question for you. You said it's in Kenya. I do see that, but where does it ship from? Because I'm getting those many questions, and maybe we need to chat on the side after the live.
So there is product on the ground in Kenya. There's a distributor. I'm trying to think of the capital of Kenya. It begins with the letter R. What's the name of it again? What's the capital?
Say that again.
What's that? What's the capital of Kenya? Begins with
Nairobi.
Nairobi, Kenya. Yes. So there is product on the ground in Nairobi. So it'll actually ship out of Kenya. That product, I believe, is manufactured in Dubai. I believe. I could be wrong there. I believe it's manufactured in Dubai. So there is 5 different manufacturing facilities around the world. I know of South Korea, Vietnam, I believe Dubai, and there's 2 here in the United States. So, but there is actually product on the ground. So if somebody in Kenya ordered the product in Kenya, it would come from the Kenyan warehouse.
All right, I'll call the office and find exactly where that is because I've been trying to get that information.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Josephine, I'm going to start wrapping it up here, but I want to ask you a question that I ask everybody, and I'm going to put you on center stage here. Everybody's skeptical. Everybody is skeptical. So, people listening right now are certainly skeptical. We'd be silly to think otherwise. You've got 30 seconds to talk to them. What are you going to say?
Well, if whatever you've been doing and you're not getting any results out of that, what will it hurt for you to give it a try with 90-day money-back guarantee? So if you don't change what you're doing now, you're still going to get the same results. So give it a try. And if nothing happens, get all your money back. But what I can tell you is I got my life back. I'm going to be 55, but I feel like I'm in my 30s. If I could do it all over again, I wish I knew this 20 years ago. So that's it.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Josephine, thank you for joining Dr. Tiff and I.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So somebody just asked about the Caribbean. I believe we are available in the Bahamas as well as Jamaica, but I don't think product is on the ground there. So there's some shipping things that need to happen there. But Glenda, if you just get with whoever your sponsor is that somebody that you know, Tiff? Okay. Yeah. We can figure that out as well. Guys, it's available in like 60 something countries around the world. It's everywhere. This is not a gimmick. This is for real. There are people all over the world getting better on this system. So Dr. Tiff, what are your parting words to this live stream?
Well, first off, you're such a wealth of knowledge. So yes, we're going to be talking about all them links and everything you know. I love this man. Jim, this is my friend. I mean, I don't love him like Amanda love him, but this is my friend. And I enjoy doing this show. The reason why is because like Josephine just said, if I knew about this 20 years ago, my father could still be here. It is something that simple. To know that there was something that could have brought my father back, brought him back after his first stroke, not just his second stroke, but allowed him to not have the third stroke that took him out. And the reality is we know so many people who are struggling like that. So that's it. I am doing this for that one person, and I've already hit that one person. So I keep waking up for the next one person to make this worth my time, and it is every day.
We're wrapping up, and I'm going to ask a question that's going to take. I'm going to take my time away from what I would say to normally close, because I want to exploit something you just said, Dr. Tiffany. If you'd have known about this 20 years ago, you think your father would still be here.
Right.
You are a doctor. Are you telling me you didn't fight like hell using all of the education that you have to get your father here? And this is what you believe, knowing everything that you know, is what would have made the difference?
Well, yeah, because he refused to take medicines anyway, and they weren't helping him.
I hope everybody just heard the magnitude of that right there. That is a doctor saying that she thinks this is what would have kept her dad. Her dad would be here today if she'd have known about this. And she was a doctor when he. Well, so, Dr. Tiff, I don't mean to kind of exploit that. I'm going to use the word exploit, but I wanted to kind of peel back the layers of that onion. That is profound to me. That's profound to me. And I hope everybody heard that, because that's very powerful. Dr. Tiffany, thank you for another amazing week. I thoroughly enjoyed this. And Josephine, Ken, I've heard Ken's story a ton. I love Ken. He's a wonderful man. He tells a very powerful story. Josephine's smile is infectious.
Yes.
This was an amazing live stream.
It was. Ken was awesome. I can't wait to meet them. Wait to meet Ken in person. I know Josephine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tiff. We'll see you next week. Come back, same